Lately, a IPO came out, and you were one of those very few funds that did not invest in that IPO.
Moh Maya we have kept aside long back. You don't
Yeah.
get swayed by that.
I think when it comes to returns, kahin na kahin your fund has spoiled a lot of us investors. Going in 2026, what are the sectors जिनके ऊपर आपकी नजर है?
So it's not as easy as watching CNBC for half an hour and then becoming an
Very
expert in
true.
investing. दो रिस्क होते हैं इन्वेस्टर के पोर्टफोलियो में और दोनों contrary risks है. Should an end investor worry about these things or should the person give money to mutual funds? So overdosing on small caps or mid caps is not advisable. That is a dangerous thing to do. Themes में जाने में कई बार ये रिस्क रहता है. कोई थीम अगर ओवरहीट हो जाता है या बहुत कंपटीशन आ जाता है तो सारे निवेशक एक साथ में लॉस करते हैं.
So is there something that we're still doing wrong?
Yes.
हेलो एंड वेलकम टू अनदर एपिसोड ऑफ द नेटवर्थ शो. मेरा नाम है शगुन और आज हम बात करेंगे मिस्टर राजीव ठक्कर से, हु इज द डायरेक्टर एंड CIO एट पराग पारिक म्यूचुअल फंड. आज हम उनसे बात करेंगे अबाउट हिज इन्वेस्टमेंट फिलोसफीज एंड स्ट्रैटेजीज, हिज आउटलुक ऑन द मार्केट एंड हिज पर्सनल वेल्थ क्रिएशन जर्नी. ये कॉन्वर्सेशन बहुत पीसफुल एंड इंसाइटफुल होने वाली है, सो स्टे ट्यून्ड टिल द एंड. I, as an investor and as a beginner investor, मेरे को बड़ा confusion होता है when I look at the markets, because I know that it's at an all-time high. When I looked at the news today, I know this. But then I also know that पिछले एक साल से it's been going sideways. So I am very confused. Are we in a good phase, in a bad phase, in a bubble? So I think you're the best person for me to ask that then. Which phase of the market cycle are we in right now?
तो मार्केट ऑल टाइम हाई पे होना कोई नई बात नहीं है. इफ यू मेक अ बैंक फिक्स डिपॉजिट with interest, your savings will be at all-time high every day, every single day.
True, very true.
ठीक है. All-time high by itself does not mean anything.
Okay.
Sensex, which had a base of 100, 125, whatever, will touch 1 lakh someday.
Yeah.
What matters is कि कितनी तेजी से ऊपर गया है. अगर गाड़ी 40, 50, 60 की स्पीड से जा रही है, ठीक है. अगर एक्सप्रेसवे है 80 की स्पीड से जा रही है, ठीक है. लेकिन अगर अपनी जो नॉर्मल गाड़ियां हैं अगर वो 200, 250, 300 की स्पीड से जा रही है तो एक्सीडेंट होने की संभावना है.
True.
सो यू शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ हाउ फास्ट थिंग्स हैव मूव्ड, व्हाट आर द वैल्यूएशंस ऑफ इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक्स ऑफ द इंडेक्स एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ.
Okay.
तो अभी कौन सा फेज है? एक साल साइडवेज रहा है, विच इज अ गुड थिंग.
Okay.
तो एक साल साइडवेज रहा तो अर्निंग को मौका मिला थोड़ा कैचअप कर लें,
Right.
कंपनीज परफॉर्म कर लें और स्टॉक प्राइस थोड़ी देर तक बैठा रहे. लेकिन थोड़े एक्सेसेस भी हैं. काफ़ी सारे जो निवेशक हैं, काफ़ी इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, वो पोस्ट कोविड ही आए हैं मार्केट में.
Yeah.
सो दोज इन्वेस्टर्स हैवंट सीन अ साइडवेज मार्केट, हैवंट सीन अ डाउन मार्केट.
Yeah.
दे हैव ऑल्सो कम विथ इन सम केसेस अनरियलिस्टिक एक्सपेक्टेशंस.
Yeah.
So if your bank is giving you 6-7%, equity will give you 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
If people are expecting 20, then there is a problem.
Yeah.
Excessive optimism is there in the IPO space.
Yeah.
People think of them as lottery tickets. Apply in the listing, you will get allotment and you will immediately exit on listing day.
Yeah.
People look at futures and options as free money or easy money. So SEBI data says that in a year people lost 1.07 lakh of crores of rupees,
Yeah.
which is a very, very high number.
True.
तो फेज में ओवरऑल चिंता की बात नहीं है ज़्यादा. ऑल टाइम हाई होते रहते हैं. लेकिन थोड़ा कॉशन रखना ज़रूरी है. थोड़े पॉकेट्स ऐसे हैं जहाँ पर excessive optimism है.
I think when it comes to returns, kahin na kahin your fund has spoiled a lot of us investors. So like I mentioned that we have communities across platforms, and a lot of people had this question that from 3.8 crore to now over 1.4 lakh crores, that's a big jump in AUM. What are the changes in your strategies? And I'll be a little biased here and ask this question from the perspective of an investor. Should I be expecting similar returns? And what are the changes in strategies that I should be waiting for when it comes from you and the institution?
Returns come from various factors. One is starting point of valuations. Second is some amount of skill and hard work. Third factor is luck. Going and so one of the very renowned investors who's no longer with us today, Charlie Munger, he kept saying that secret to happiness in life is to have low expectations.
Yeah.
So if someone is expecting 9% and that person gets 12%, that person will be over the moon.
True.
I got so much more than my expectation.
Yeah, I think which was most of us investors in the last 2-3 years.
Yes. Someone coming with an expectation of 15 and then getting 12 who is going to be disappointed.
True.
So one context I would like to give is that overall in India, inflation rates have come down. Inflation rate coming down doesn't mean prices come down. So a lot of people have this mistake कि महंगाई की दर कम हो गई तो दाम तो कम नहीं हुए. महंगाई की दर is किस तेजी से दाम ऊपर जा रहे हैं.
Yeah.
तो if price is 100 last year and right now price is 110, that means inflation rate is 10%.
Yeah.
If prices last year were 100 and now they are 103, then inflation rate is 3%. So महंगाई की दर कम होना is the rate of change in prices have come down.
Okay.
What happens when change in prices comes down is that companies increase their prices more slowly. And it seems that profits are growing slowly. Purchasing power wise, they are still doing good. But the numbers that you see in your portfolio returns, they seem to be a bit lower. So in India, 15%, 20% returns we have been accustomed to historically.
Yeah.
But we forget that in the decade of 90s, interest rates were 14% to 20%. PPF used to be 12%.
Yeah.
Now, if PPF rate has come down significantly, you would expect equity returns also to come down in line with inflation, interest rates, everything. Expectations should be moderated.
To me, from what it seems like, is that because of all the macroeconomic factors right now, a 10 to 12% return is good enough for now.
Yes.
Considering the
absolutely.
context.
Yes.
Nice. I think that was a reality check we all needed. You seem to be a very calm, a very poised person. But I want to know, is that also the kind of attitude you have towards your investment philosophy? Are you an aggressive investor, or how would you categorize your style of investing?
One is people think that aggressive investor means that someone who just gambles money, let's say a roulette is happening and you bet everything on one number and either you get it or you don't. So a lot of people have this extreme thing. They will take a insurance plus investment kind of policy, which gives them 4-5% return for their kids or for their retirement. They will have a lot of money in bank FDs or savings account, and then they will do futures and options.
Yeah.
So that they are at very, very extremes.
Yeah.
For me, a reasonable aggressive investment stance for a relatively young person with stable source of income is to allocate high amounts of money to equities, which sensible equities bought at reasonable prices with long-term compounding.
Okay.
That will give you significantly higher returns than fixed income alternatives.
True.
So my aggression has been that kind. I have not put too much money in fixed income securities. I've been overweighting in equities for decades now.
Yeah.
And that has helped me to compound over a period of time.
Like you mentioned that you need to look at the right valuations and long-term growth, right? So then how do you filter? So I just want to talk about some metrics that you look at when you're filtering out stocks for the fund and maybe even yourself.
Lot of jargon gets thrown around, lot of complicated numbers get thrown around, EV, EBITDA, DCF, this, that.
Yeah, true.
For an investor, a simple way of looking at investing or evaluation is what is the market cap of the company? Market cap is the total value of that company.
Right.
Let us say a corner grocery store is available near your residence.
Okay.
What are the metrics you would look at to buy that store if the owner came to you and offered to sell the store? One is asset based. You would say, do you own the store or have you let it out? That's the first question. If he says, I own it, what square footage, what is the market value, what is the inventory stocked in that, what is the cost of furniture, all of that. That is one asset-based
Yeah.
way of valuation. The second way is how much is your annual sales, how much do you spend in electricity, staff salaries, delivery, boy charges, all of that. What is the profit you make, and you'll arrive at some judgment.
Right.
Why should it be any different for large companies listed on the exchange?
True.
How much is this company quoted at? What is the market cap?
Okay.
What are the profits that the company makes? Are there those profits available to you to take home, or is it locked up in receivables where your customers are not paying you? That's a question you would ask
Yeah.
the grocery store owner. That's a question to ask to the listed company as well. So the same factors, it's not too different.
Yeah. But
People
then
get carried away.
yeah, but then if it is really that simple, then, there are so many other ratios and metrics that people throw around. Like you said, jargon. For a beginner, or even say, let's say an experienced investor, how much weightage should all of these other very nitty-gritty metrics matter? Or should you really just go at and look at the broad factors and be like, this is worth investing in?
So even before doing that, should an end investor worry about these things, or should the person give money to mutual funds? And I'll give an unbiased answer, even though
Done.
I run a mutual fund myself.
Okay.
It's the same question you would do about any other activity. Should you learn to cook, or should you go to a restaurant and eat? Should you cut your own hair, or should you go to a salon?
True.
Do you enjoy doing the activity? And is it worth your while spending so much time and effort learning this skill, doing it yourself, versus outsourcing it? So for the vast majority of people, people have day jobs. People have activities. So someone could be a dentist, someone could be a plumber, someone would be having a government job, teacher, lawyer, architect. After working for 5 days, 6 days in a week, do you want to spend your Sundays poring over balance sheets, annual reports? So it's not as easy as watching CNBC for half an hour and then becoming an
Very
expert in
true.
investing.
Yeah, very true.
Right? So that is something to be taken care of.
Yeah.
If you have the time, interest, inclination to do it yourself, then a lot of factors are to be considered. How much of the company is funded by shareholder resources versus how much borrowing is there. The more the borrowing, the riskier the business, because they'll not be able to survive a downturn.
Okay.
COVID hit equally to various retailers. One retailer had to sell off all the businesses, was on the verge of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
The other retailer came out very strongly after COVID. So a lot of factors matter. Debt equity ratio, return on capital employed,
Right.
what is the promoter shareholding, who are the people running the business, what is the competitive intensity, what are the expected growth numbers.
Right. And you also mentioned IPOs, and there's a lot of craze. I think there has always been craze because people think of it as a very like a flash opportunity where you just enter, you make money, and you leave. But lately, a lot of consumer-facing brands have come out with their IPOs, and a lot of them are not even profitable. But IPOs सबके आ रहे हैं. So, I just feel like कि हम कितनी बात कर ले, we cannot stop people from investing in these IPOs. But can we talk about some red flags that people should be looking at before they invest in such risky IPOs?
Let me ask a flip question, counter question.
Okay.
Is it fine to decide on getting married with someone on the first date?
No.
Definitely not, right?
No.
So on the first date, everyone is well behaved. They will put their best foot forward. You know a person only after talking to their neighbors, talking to their friends,
Yeah.
looking at their past history, looking at their behavior over a period of time. Same way, IPO is like a first date in a way.
Okay.
The company has been private. Everything has been run by a close set of people. It's the first time they're coming to the public at large.
Yeah.
Now, after getting listed, will they pay themselves abnormal salaries? Will they do related party transactions. All their purchase orders will go to their relatives or something like that, or those kind of things. So you have to typically give them a chance. Now,
Yeah.
let us say some established company is getting listed. Let us say someday TCS got listed. Now,
Okay.
it's coming from House of Tatas. It's a relatively well-known company.
Yeah.
So now let us say down the road, National Stock Exchange comes for listing, or SBI Mutual Fund, or potential ICICI Mutual Fund. These AMCs get listed. Now, these are known entities.
Right.
But otherwise, if some promoter you have never heard about, a company you have never heard about, if they come to list, don't be in a hurry to commit capital. So that is
Yeah.
the first thing.
Right.
Second thing is, no matter how much you love a product or a service, to buy a share, there has to be something more. They have to be earning profits for you. Buying shares in a company which hasn't made profits over 5 years, 10 years, and just saying that, oh, we are growing turnover, to my mind, it doesn't make sense.
True.
Let us say you and I stood outside the studio and we started offering 100 rupee notes, genuine currency notes, for 90 rupees. How much sales will we be able to make?
Then to a lot.
Infinite.
Yeah, infinite.
Right? So if businesses are offering consumer subsidies, what's the surprise that turnover is growing?
True. I mean, on the back end, it's not positive.
If you get sugar at 10 rupees a kg
Yeah.
and it's delivered to your home, why will you not buy it?
True,
If
true,
delivery charges are free, why would you get into a cab or auto rickshaw or walk to a store?
True, very true.
It's only when the subsidies go away that you know that real cost of running a business. So unit economics have to make sense. Also, you put 100 rupees in a bank, in a FD, bank will give you 6%, 7%. If a business is not going to earn 7% on shareholder funds, is that business worth investing at all?
No.
If that business makes 2% return on capital or 3% return on capital. So all these things have to be kept in mind.
Yeah. Right. And I think one of the things I've realized is that it's just a lot of it has to do with the hype around a brand. And I was just thinking, so lately a IPO came out and you were one of those very few, funds that did not invest in that IPO. And so have you ever felt that pressure that, you kind of going against the market, that IPO was, oversubscribed, everyone was going crazy and gaga over it, and you were like, no, I'm not going to invest into it. So have you ever felt that pressure that, oh, I'm taking a contra bet, will it work out or no?
So there was a person by the name Benjamin Graham. He was the guru to Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
A person by the name Benjamin Graham.
Yeah.
So in his book, he makes a very important distinction. He puts in two terms and he says both may look similar but are very, very different. One is investing and the second is speculating.
Okay.
So when you say, do you feel the pressure to invest? In investment, there's hardly any pressure. So in investment, you say that what is the worth of this company and what is it being quoted in the market. If market quotation is lower than the true worth, you go and buy it. Otherwise, you stay away.
Yeah.
In speculation, you are trying to predict what other people will do. So the IPO that is fancied, you are not convinced about the worth of the IPO.
Yeah.
You are thinking that the listing price will be higher than the IPO price.
Yeah.
And if you do not buy in the IPO, you will miss out on the gains that your neighbor will make. So that moh maya we have kept aside long back. You don't get swayed by that.
Nice. I think, so then if you have such a calm attitude about this, aapke paas, I think you've been in the market for so long that you have had a lot of experiences that have taught you this. For a new investor like me, मैं ये ऐसा calm सा attitude कैसे develop करूँ? So how should I, not fall prey to this FOMO and this moh maya? What should I practice then?
Probably viewers will get bored. I quote so much of Buffett, Munger and Graham. There's a wonderful quote by Charlie Munger again.
Okay.
In a lot of religions, Jewish, Christianity, there are these 7 deadly sins. Right?
Yeah.
Munger said that you can commit many sins, different sins, and usually most sins are enjoyable. So gluttony, for example.
Yeah.
Gluttony is where you just gouge on something. You
Yeah.
order tons of food, very delicious food, unhealthy food, but while eating, you enjoy.
Yeah.
Right? Bad consequences come much later. He says out of 7 sins, there is only one sin in which you are miserable while committing the sin and also later, which is envy.
True. Very true.
So envy is, as it is bad, but while committing itself, you are not having fun.
True.
So then choose any of the other 6.
Yeah. True.
Don't envy your neighbor making money. So if you can get rid of envy, you are there in investing.
Yeah, but I think it'll take me time, but I'll get there for sure. But now let's come back to you. So now Parag Parikh portfolio, everybody knows about, it's public information. But now let's talk about your wealth creation journey. What was your first crore like? When did that happen in your life? What did it feel like? And how did that shape your attitude towards money and even the markets?
Nothing dramatic about it. So save some money every month, keep investing, and over a period of time, it grows to a crore. So
That is such a simple one-line answer.
that's all there is.
That is true.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
The first 1 crore is the most difficult.
Yeah.
So just like a rocket which has to lift off from the ground, the base is very, very broad and has to have a lot of thrust for the entire weight to be lifted. And the first stage burns off quickly, then second stage is easier, third even easier, then it reaches escape velocity, it goes on its own, then nothing needs to be done.
Yeah.
So if you are starting from zero, there is nothing which is earning for you. After you have, let's say, 1 lakh of rupees, at least that 1 lakh is generating something for you. Let us say you earn 10% per year. That 1 lakh after 1 year becomes 1,10,000. After 2 years, it will be 121. So that momentum is created.
Right.
So in the initial period, the difficulty comes from various sources. One is typically when people are younger, their incomes are lesser because they're just out of education. They don't have work experience, so starting salaries are lower. So that is one hurdle. The second hurdle is people are young, impressionable. Someone is buying the latest iPhone Pro. Why do I get a...
I fell prey to that.
Why do I buy a cheap Android?
Yeah.
So Buffett used to do these things where he would calculate. Let us say if someone is buying a iPhone for 1 lakh of rupees and a reasonable Android could come for 20,000 rupees, then what is that 80,000 rupees worth 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? So if you assume money doubles every 5 years, then 80,000 will be 1,60,000 years from now, 3,20,000 10 years from now, 6.5 lakhs 20 years from now. So that initial saving goes a long way in the future.
True.
So saving more initially, letting it compound, that's the way to create. And when it's just a number, so I don't think one feels any different when your wealth is 95 lakhs versus 1 crore, 1 lakh.
Yeah. Okay, so we call this the net worth show. So, and my audience loves this question and we all wait for it. Can you talk to us about your net worth and your asset allocation? And are you all hands in your personal finance, or is that something that because this is your profession, so do you get bored with your own personal finance and you're like, I'll let someone else handle it?
I'm fully hands-on with my personal finance.
Okay.
Allocation-wise, almost everything is in equities. There is allocation to debt and bank fixed deposit, but as a percentage of the overall net worth, it's a minuscule amount.
Okay.
But it's adequate to meet emergency needs or to meet 1 year, 2 years of expenses. So
Okay.
largely it's in equities, and
Okay.
within equities, I have the mutual fund schemes of my own fund house, as well as given that I've been a long time employee in the company, I have shares of our company as well.
Okay, understood. And we were talking about IPOs, but there's another thing that a lot of new investors especially are fascinated by, and that are small cap and mid cap companies. सबको fascination रहता है कि oh यहाँ पे भी I can make exponential amount of money. So as someone who's fairly new to investing, is that something that I should be dabbling into? Is the risk to reward ratio really enough for a beginner investor to get into it? And also, what are the kind of red flags that you look at again when you're looking at small cap companies or mid cap companies?
So let's look at plants, for example. Now,
Okay.
a oak tree, which has grown over 10 years, 15 years, versus a sapling, which was planted maybe 2 months ago or 3 months ago. The oak tree would typically have more stability than a
Yes.
sapling. People will say, oh, but sapling has good growth possibility. It's a tiny plant and
Yeah.
it can grow into a full blown tree. So growth opportunities will be better in small cap and mid cap.
Right.
So both are simultaneously true. Every sapling will not grow into a long tree or tall tree.
True.
There would be bonsai plants
Yeah.
which will never grow.
Yeah.
There will be species of plants which will be just shrubs.
Yeah.
To a lay person, all of them look the same.
True.
So a lot of people think that blindly buying small caps, you'll make a lot of money. Now, there are some small banks which have remained tiny for 100 years. They've never grown. So those are either species which do not grow very tall.
Yeah.
So every animal does not become a giraffe. That species of the animal also matters. Now, a rat will remain
A rat.
a rat. That rat will never grow into a very tall animal.
Yeah. True.
And it may not be obvious while buying which is a rat and which is a giraffe. Small cap, mid cap are prone to wilder swings, both on the way up and on the way down. So in the rising market, mid caps will rise faster than large caps.
Okay.
And small caps will rise even faster than mid caps. And on the way down, also mid caps will fall fast and small caps may fall faster.
Right.
If you select well, if all your hard work, capability and luck, if all three align, some small caps can become mid caps and then go on to become large caps. So overdosing on small caps or mid caps is not advisable. Otherwise, they should form part of a well-balanced portfolio. Some people just put all their money in small caps, or
Right.
that is a dangerous thing to do.
Right.
10, 15, 20% allocation in that space. If someone really wants and market is down and out, maybe 25, 30% overall to small and mid caps is okay. You cannot have
All of your money in that.
all of your money or even more than 50% to small and mid.
So I feel like 10 to 15% of my money in tactical calls or maybe small cap is valid if I'm really into, adventure in the stock market. But otherwise, I should be playing a safe game. Understood. So like I mentioned, we have communities, and a person had a really interesting question that I want to talk to you about. They asked, what is averaging strategy, or what should be the averaging strategy during falling or increasing share price? And does averaging itself constitute a good strategy?
So let me break this into two parts. Averaging your mutual fund unit purchase is always a good idea.
Okay.
तो अगर आप म्यूचुअल फंड खरीद रहे हो तो आपके स्टेटमेंट में एक ही यूनिट दिखेगा, लेकिन उस एक यूनिट के नीचे 30 कंपनियां होंगी, 35 कंपनियां होंगी. आप एक बास्केट खरीद रहे हो अलग अलग कंपनियों की.
जी.
तो अगर आप की उम्र 20, 25, 30 साल है, आपके पास 20-25 साल और है रिटायरमेंट के लिए, या जो लंबी अवधि के आपके लक्ष्य हैं उसको पाने के लिए, तो काफ़ी समय है आपके पास, और बाजार ऊपर है नीचे है, आप एवरेज करते जाइए, हर महीने परचेस करते जाइए, आपका जो फाइनल अमाउंट है, जो वैल्यू होगी, वो काफ़ी अच्छी रहेगी बाद में। अगर इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक है तो कुछ और फैक्टर्स आ जाते हैं। कोई स्टॉक अगर 50% गिरा है, आधा हो गया है दाम में, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि अट्रैक्टिव है।
ट्रू।
अगर कंपनी में फ्रॉड हो गया है या अगर कंपनी में ऐसी परिस्थिति है कि घाटे में चल रही है, उसके जो एसेट्स है वो जो लेंडर्स हैं उन्होंने ले लिए हैं, स्टाफ की सैलरी नहीं पे हुई है, तो फिर उसको एवरेज करके क्या मतलब है।
ट्रू।
कई लोगों ने बैंकरप्ट बैंक्स के शेयर्स जो हैं वो लेते गए, एवरेज करते गए, अभी उसकी वैल्यू 0 है। लोग ग्लोबल ट्रस्ट बैंक के शेयर्स लेते गए जो बंद हो गई थी कंपनी, या लोग जेट एयरवेज, किंगफिशर एयरलाइंस के शेयर एवरेज करते गए। अब जब आप सुर्खियों में देख रहे हैं, जब आप हेडलाइंस में देख रहे हैं कि कंपनी बंद हो गई है, फिर एवरेज करके क्या मतलब है।
ट्रू।
तो अगर आप इंडिविजुअल कंपनी की बात करें, अगर कंपनी बहुत ही मुनाफा कमा रही है, अगर आपने पहले परचेज 100 रुपए में की, अभी शेयर के दाम 200 रुपए है, लेकिन अगर कंपनी के मुनाफे 4 गुना बढ़ गए हैं तो अभी भी अट्रैक्टिव हो सकती है।
राइट।
डबल दाम में भी लेना बनता है। लेकिन अगर कंपनी अच्छा नहीं कर रही है तो एवरेज करने में कोई मतलब नहीं है। तो इट डिपेंड्स ऑन इंडिविजुअल फैक्टर्स।
राइट।
हर एक कंपनी को अलग मापदंड से देखना पड़ेगा, अलग नज़रिए से देखना पड़ेगा। एक सिंपल फॉर्मूला नहीं है कि एवरेज करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए।
राइट। ओके, वी हैड अनदर वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन। जैसे कि फॉर अ लॉन्ग टर्म इंडियन इन्वेस्टर इन 2025 और 2026, how should we divide our portfolio between Indian equities, US equities, and emerging themes like AI and energy transition? What allocation framework do you personally recommend for someone aiming for wealth creation over the next 10 to 15 years?
ओके, दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन। कई बार लोग समझते नहीं हैं।
जी।
तो इक्विटी में जो कंपनी के मुनाफे हैं, उतार चढ़ाव है, उसके साथ साथ एक कंट्री स्पेसिफिक रिस्क फैक्टर भी आता है। भारत और पाकिस्तान की लड़ाई छिड़ गई टेररिज्म अटैक के बाद, ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के वक्त।
जी।
अभी ये विश्व की कंपनियों को अफेक्ट नहीं करती, ये इंडिया स्पेसिफिक फैक्टर है।
राइट।
तो जब तकलीफ होती है, कुछ अच्छा होता है इंडिया स्पेसिफिक, वो सिर्फ इंडियन कंपनीज को अफेक्ट करती है। अब वित्त मंत्री ने टैक्स कट अनाउंस कर दिए, पहले कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स कट अनाउंस किए थे, फिर बाद में जीएसटी कट आए। ये सिर्फ भारत तक सीमित है,
बिल्कुल।
ग्लोबल स्टॉक्स को अफेक्ट नहीं करते। तो अगर आपके पोर्टफोलियो में इंडियन स्टॉक्स हैं और ग्लोबल स्टॉक्स हैं, दोनों साथ में हैं, तो आपके उतार चढ़ाव उतने कम हो जाएंगे। जो साइकिल्स है उसका कम इम्पैक्ट होगा आपके पोर्टफोलियो पर। तो ग्लोबल डाइवर्सिफिकेशन जरूरी है।
ओके।
इंडिया काफ़ी बड़ी इकोनॉमी है, ग्लोबली 3rd, 4th, 5th इकोनॉमी का साइज है, लेकिन काफ़ी बड़ी कंपनियां भारत के बाहर है। जब लोग फ़ोन खरीदते हैं, या तो एंड्रॉयड खरीदेंगे या आईफोन खरीदेंगे, दोनों प्लेटफॉर्म अमेरिकन है। लैपटॉप खरीदते हैं तो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट विंडोज़ है, बाहर की कंपनी है।
जी।
काफ़ी सारी जो नई दवाइयाँ हैं, वेट लॉस ड्रग्स, ओजेम्पिक, मोंजारो, ग्लोबल कंपनीज हैं। तो काफ़ी सारी टेस्ला जो गाड़ी है या BYD ग्लोबल कंपनीज हैं। तो काफ़ी अच्छी कंपनियां बाहर भी हैं। तो ग्लोबल डाइवर्सिफिकेशन करना ज़रूरी है मेरे हिसाब से। थीम्स की बात करें, AI वगैरह या जो दूसरे थीम्स हैं, मेरे हिसाब से अगर आपके पास कोई डाइवर्सिफाइड इक्विटी फंड है, तो जो अच्छे थीम है वो ऑटोमेटिकली आपके पोर्टफोलियो में आ जाएंगे। आपको एज अ एंड इन्वेस्टर, ले इन्वेस्टर, आपको कुछ ज़्यादा करने की ज़रूरत नहीं। तो थीम में ना जाएं, डाइवर्सिफाइड इक्विटी फंड खरीदें। थीम्स में जाने में कई बार ये रिस्क रहता है कि कोई थीम अगर ओवर हीट हो जाता है या बहुत कंपटीशन आ जाता है, तो सारे निवेशक एक साथ में लॉस करते हैं। mid-90s की बात करें तो अपना जो सिविल एविएशन सेक्टर है
जी,
वो खुला था। पहले इंडियन एयरलाइंस की मोनोपोली थी, प्राइवेट सेक्टर एयरलाइंस आ गए। उस समय की एक भी कंपनी आज मौजूद नहीं है, सारे बैंकरप्ट हो गए। टेलीकॉम क्षेत्र खुला था निजी कंपनियों के लिए, सिर्फ भारतीय एयरटेल ने रिटर्न्स कमाए हैं शेयर होल्डर्स के लिए। बाकी सारी कंपनियां या तो लॉस मेकिंग है या तो काफ़ी शेयर होल्डर वेल्थ डिस्ट्रॉय हुआ है। तो कॉशियस रहें थीमेटिक इन्वेस्टमेंट में। डाइवर्सिफाइड इक्विटी फंड में लेंगे तो अच्छे जो थीम्स हैं, अच्छे शेयर्स हैं, ऑटोमेटिकली आपके पोर्टफोलियो में आ जाएंगे।
एंड अगर कोई इंसान ग्लोबल इक्विटी में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहता है, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट टूल्स एंड इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स दैट दे कैन यूज टू गेट इनटू दीज मार्केट्स?
$7 बिलियन की लिमिट है म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री पर
ओके,
ग्लोबल स्टॉक्स में निवेश करने की। ये 2022 में रीच हो गई।
ओके,
उसके बाद लिमिट इंक्रीज नहीं हुई है। तो पिछले 3 साल से फॉरेन में निवेश करने पर रोक है म्यूचुअल फंड्स को। इंडिविजुअल्स कर सकते हैं। हर इंडिविजुअल को साल में $2.5 लाख की लिमिट है, काफ़ी लिबरल लिमिट है। इसमें आप ट्रैवल कर सकते हैं, एजुकेशन ऑफ चिल्ड्रन अलाउड है। तो इसमें से लोग या तो डायरेक्ट स्टॉक्स ले सकते हैं या तो ग्लोबल म्यूचुअल फंड्स ले सकते हैं। एक नया रास्ता खुला है गिफ्ट सिटी फंड्स का। तो गांधीनगर में जो गिफ्ट सिटी है, वहाँ पे काफ़ी सारी फंड मैनेजमेंट कंपनियों ने ब्रांचेस खोली हैं और वहाँ से ग्लोबल फंड्स लॉन्च हुए हैं। तो उसमें भी इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं।
एंड यू नो, एज समवन जो इंडिया का वन ऑफ द मोस्ट पॉपुलर फंड चला रहे हैं, इफ़ आई वाज टू आस्क यू कि मैं अपने लिए एक फंड ढूंढ रही हूँ, व्हाट आर द मेट्रिक्स और व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट आई शुड बी लुकिंग एट बिफोर डिसाइडिंग ऑन अ फंड?
तो 2 तरह के इन्वेस्टर हो सकते हैं प्राइमरीली, एक पैसिव, एक एक्टिव। तो पैसिव वो है जिसको कुछ ट्रैक नहीं करना है
जी।
तो वो इंडिया की जो वाइड स्प्रेड इंडेक्सेस हैं, निफ्टी 100, निफ्टी 50, ऐसे कोई इंडेक्स में इन्वेस्ट कर लेना चाहिए। और ग्लोबली या तो MSCI वर्ल्ड या तो S&P 500 यूएस की, इसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट करके भूल जाना चाहिए। रेगुलरली इन्वेस्टमेंट करते रहो और कुछ ट्रैक करने की जरूरत नहीं।
ठीक है।
अगर आप एक्टिव इन्वेस्टर हो, अगर आप फंड हाउस सिलेक्ट कर रहे हो, स्पेसिफिक स्कीम सिलेक्ट कर रहे हो, तो जो चीज़ें हम नॉर्मली रिसर्च करते हैं, अगर टीवी फ्रिज या कुछ खरीद रहे हैं तो ब्रांड की रेप्यूटेशन कैसे है और लोगों का एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा है, ब्रांड स्टेबल है कि नहीं है, या पिछले 3 महीने में ही अगर इंडिया में आई है तो बंद करके फिर चली जाएगी, लॉन्ग स्टैंडिंग रेप्यूटेशन है नहीं है। तो वो सारा रिसर्च करना है। फंड हाउस रेप्यूटेशन, इंडिविजुअल स्कीम परफॉर्मेंस, इंडिविजुअल फंड मैनेजर परफॉर्मेंस, उनकी स्ट्रैटेजी क्या है, वो सारी चीज़ें समझना ज़रूरी है। लेकिन एक रिकमेंडेशन है, डाइवर्सिफाइड इक्विटी फंड में जाइए। किसी भी नाम से डिस्क्रिप्शन हो, लेकिन फ्लेक्सी कैप, मल्टी कैप, वैल्यू फंड या कोई भी लेबल हो, ठीक है। अक्रॉस द सेक्टर, अक्रॉस मार्केट कैप उसका इन्वेस्टमेंट होना चाहिए। अगर आप थीम ले रहे हो तो रिस्क काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है। अगर आप सिर्फ डिफेंस फंड ले रहे हो या सिर्फ रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी फंड ले रहे हो तो उसका रिस्कीनेस काफ़ी बढ़ जाता है। अगर डाइवर्सिफाइड फंड है तो ज़्यादा दिक्कत नहीं आनी चाहिए।
एक इंसान के पास कितने फंड्स होने चाहिए? बिकॉज डाइवर्सिफिकेशन इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट एडिक्वेटली डाइवर्सिफाई होने के लिए मुझे अपने पोर्टफोलियो में कितने फंड्स रखने चाहिए?
2-3 से काम हो जाना चाहिए। क्योंकि जब आप एक फंड खरीद रहे हो तो उस फंड में 30 स्टॉक 35 स्टॉक होंगे। तो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन इज अ फीचर ऑफ अ म्यूचुअल फंड। अगर आप म्यूचुअल फंड खरीद रहे हो तो वैसे ही डाइवर्सिफाइड इन्वेस्टमेंट मिल रहा है आपको। अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा फंड खरीद रहे हो तो आप पूरी मार्केट ही खरीद रहे हो, तो फिर इंडेक्स फंड्स ही ले लीजिए। तो बहुत ज़्यादा स्कीम्स लेके मतलब नहीं है, 2 या 3 से काम हो जाना चाहिए। एसेट क्लास डाइवर्सिफिकेशन ज़रूरी है, मोर देन स्कीम डाइवर्सिफिकेशन। अगर आप 3 अलग अलग फ्लेक्सी कैप या मल्टी कैप ले रहे हो तो ज़्यादा बेनिफिट नहीं है। आपकी ज़रूरत के हिसाब से अगर आपने आर्बिट्राज फंड्स, हाइब्रिड फंड्स और इक्विटी फंड लिए हैं तो उसका मतलब बनता है।
ठीक है। एंड डू यू हैव अ फ्रेमवर्क टू हेल्प पीपल अंडरस्टैंड कि उनको अक्रॉस एसेट क्लासेस कितना पैसा कैसे लगाना चाहिए?
जो पैसे आपको 3 महीने, 6 महीने, 1 साल, 2 साल में चाहिए, वो आपको आर्बिट्राज फंड या लिक्विड फंड में डालने हैं।
ठीक है।
जो पैसे आपके पास 3 से 5 साल के लिए हैं वो हाइब्रिड फंड्स में डालने हैं। और 5 साल के बाद जिसकी रिक्वायरमेंट है वो आप इक्विटी डाइवर्सिफाइड फंड में डाल सकते हैं।
And now let's talk about sectors and themes. Going in 2026, आपके what are the sectors जिनके ऊपर आपकी नज़र है कि हाँ, this is something that I am going to be looking at and observing for this year?
One sector which has not been in fancy for investors has been
Okay.
the financial sector,
Yeah.
banks and other companies.
Right.
Returns काफ़ी subdued रहे, especially private sector banks में. अगर इंडिया को ग्रो करना है, हाउसिंग लोन के बिना, कार लोन के बिना, इंडस्ट्री का वर्किंग कैपिटल फाइनेंस, ये सब बैंक से ही आना है. और वैल्यूएशंस काफ़ी रीजनेबल है, बैलेंस शीट क्वालिटी रीजनेबली अच्छी है. बैंकिंग सेक्टर लुक्स गुड
Okay.
फॉर द कमिंग.
Okay. And other than that, maybe, like I know a lot of people who are really excited about manufacturing as a sector. What are your thoughts on that?
So manufacturing also we have participated in, but selectively. Manufacturing covers a whole host of companies and sectors. So we have been selectively investing in things like automobiles.
Okay.
Especially after GST cuts, demand फिर वापस आई है. काफ़ी सालों तक subdued demand रही थी. नए मॉडल्स आ रहे हैं, फॉर्म फैक्टर चेंज हुआ है सेडान से SUV फॉर्म फैक्टर, पावर ट्रेन जो पहले सिर्फ पेट्रोल डीजल थी अभी EVs भी आ गए हैं. ऑटो सेक्टर इज सीइंग सम रिवाइवल इन डिमांड.
राइट. एंड IT के बारे में बहुत लोग बात करते हैं, स्पेशली इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ AI, कि वाओ द IT सेक्टर इज नाउ गोइंग टू बी डिस्ट्रॉयड, इंडिया का XYZ, a lot of fear about IT. So what do you think? Is this a bad phase for IT? Yeah, this is a long-term trend that we are in the beginning of right now.
तो IT ओवर द इयर्स काफ़ी ग्रो कर चुका है, काफ़ी एम्प्लॉयमेंट क्रिएट किया है इंडिया में. हम जब पीछे देखते हैं तो लगता है कि ये पहले ग्रोथ सेक्टर था, अभी ग्रो नहीं कर रहा है. लेकिन जो सिक्लिकलिटी है वो हमेशा से रही है. लेट 90s में एक बूम आया था Y2K करके, एक स्लो डाउन आया, Y2K गया और .com बस्ट भी आया, तो एक डाउन टर्न आया. 2008 में ग्लोबल फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस के वक्त बैंकिंग का जो ऑर्डर बुक था और जो बिजनेस है उससे कम हुआ. बीच में ट्रैवल टूरिज्म में एक डाउन टर्न आया, तो स्लो डाउन था. तो ये और एक फेज है. कुछ जॉब्स पर असर ज़रूर होगा, लेकिन कुछ और वर्कलोड आएगा AI इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करने के लिए कंपनीज में वगैरह. तो मेरा इतना पेसिमिस्टिक व्यू नहीं है इस स्पेस पर.
एंड आई वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट इट, आपको तो बहुत टाइम हो गया इंटरव्यूज़ करते हुए, पॉडकास्ट करते हुए. क्या ऐसी कोई चीज़ है दैट यू हैव बीन एडवाइजिंग द ऑडियंस टू डू, कि you should be doing XYZ, this is a habit that you should be forming, and you still see people making the same mistake despite you advising them against it for a long time?
Yes. So people look at last 3 years, last 5 years and invest.
Yeah.
If gold price has been flat for 10 years, no one feels like buying it. If gold prices tripled in short time, everyone will rush to buy.
Yeah.
So when people drive their two-wheelers, their cars, they look ahead. How is the road? If there's a pothole, they'll slow down. If there's traffic, they'll slow down. If the signal is green, it's a smooth road, no traffic, they'll speed up. But in investing, they just look at the rear view mirror. They don't look at what is in front of them.
Yeah.
Whatever has done well in the past, they want to chase that and over-allocate to that.
Yeah. So maybe we need to look ahead instead of always looking back.
Yes.
Okay. And again, I just want to basically learn a lot of behavioral cues from you, because I think ये जो numbers and formulas and frameworks वाला है, I think you've spoken about it enough. So now let's talk about a little bit of that behavior aspect of it. जब भी मार्केट में चाहे वो 5% गिरे या 20% गिरे, every news headline is always about we are entering the bear phase, meltdown हो गया है, this is a bloodbath. Now during this very fear mongering phase जहाँ पे हर investor डरा हुआ होता है, how should investors keep their calm? What are the things that they should be looking at? Are there certain things that they can do to protect their wealth? So whenever there's a shakedown in the market, किसी भी retail investor को उनके first 3 steps क्या होने चाहिए?
If things are on autopilot, behavior does not come into picture at all.
Okay.
So people will have various subscriptions. Netflix subscription होगा या Z5. Typically people do auto pay. Expire हुआ तो renew हो जाना चाहिए. Same way if there's something auto pay, आपको हर महीने डिसाइड नहीं करना है ये पे करना है नहीं करना है, ऑटोमेटिकली अकाउंट से डेबिट हो जाता है एंड यू डोंट थिंक अबाउट.
Right.
आई थिंक दैट्स द बेस्ट वे टू डू इन्वेस्टिंग.
But I think that's not very easy to practice because I have observed with myself कि अगर market में anything happens, like even if there's like a small sectoral news जो आया है, I have this tendency to go and check my phone, check my portfolio. Oh, अब नीचे गिर गया. Oh, अभी हो गया. And even when I have a very small corpus, so then how do you practice this very calm and very patient attitude?
By deleting the apps which give you the prices. People
Yeah.
buy a home and live in that home for 20 years, 30 years. People buy gold jewelry, pass it generation to generation. It just resides in the lockers, comes out at wedding time or at the time of festivals. People subscribe to Employees Provident Fund, NPS. It gets accumulated over decades. No one even looks at it. No one is even aware what
Yeah.
returns they are getting.
True.
What is the current value of the portfolio. The moment they buy a stock or they buy a mutual fund, it goes into the popular apps and
Yeah.
there are graphs and moving averages and whatnot. Just delete.
And you mentioned Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, Benjamin Graham so many times. तो अगर आपको हमारी ऑडियंस को एक फाइनल कोट देना हो that you want them to take away, what would you want that to be?
Be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy.
Yeah, true. And if they were to practice that in real life and figure out कि नहीं अब यहाँ पे इतने में greedy नहीं होना है और इतने में greedy होना है, do you have any advice for that to guide them?
Situations like 2008 or March 2020 come very, very rarely in someone's journey.
Yeah.
At that time, don't panic and firstly, don't sell. And whatever money you have, if things are really attractive, go out and buy. That is, be greedy when others are fearful.
Yeah.
And be fearful when others are greedy. If something doesn't make sense to you, simply stay away. Let your neighbor make money. There's no harm.
Yeah, envy में नहीं फंसना है.
Envy में नहीं फंसना है.
Understood. Thank you so much, sir, for such a calm conversation. I feel very relaxed about the market right now.
Glad to hear that.
So thank you so much for coming on the show. And you too, I hope आपके conversation पसंद आया हो. आपका सबसे बड़ा takeaway क्या था? मुझे comments में ज़रूर बताइएगा. अब मैं आपसे मिलूंगी on the next episode of the Net Worth Show. So take care until then.
Investment in the securities market is subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.